Should modern American Christians excuse the murder, rape, and destruction of America's indigenous people by early American colonists, even if it was done in the name of Christ? Even if that killing was done in the name of Christ? Should we excuse it? Should we look over it? Should we say, well, we're still Christian? Are we going to use discernment? Indian boys sold for $60 in early America. Indian girls were a bit more of a prize. They sold for $200. Would you describe that as the actions of a Christ-like nation? Were these the Christian glory days that some want to return to? Man is evil. This is the whole message of the Bible. But we get confused because we want to think of ourselves as good and other people as evil. It's the mote in our own eye and the speck in the brother's. It's a sin that hits all of us. President Teddy Roosevelt, speaking on the extermination of the American Indians and the taking of their land, said this, quote, "It was as ultimately beneficial as it was inevitable. Such conquests are sure to come when a masterful people, still in its raw barbarian prime, finds itself face to face with the weaker and wholly alien race which he holds a coveted prize in its feeble grasp." Do you agree with the former U.S. president that the genocide of the Native Americans was beneficial because white Americans were more superior and a masterful race than the weaker natives? Are there any differences between this and what we heard in the anti-Semitic rhetoric in Nazi Germany? Any at all? Now, most of the questions that I received had to do with the self-defense argument about Americans. They said, well, Americans came here and they defended themselves. They defended themselves. That's why they killed Indians. But is that really true? Is it true that the Native Americans were seeking out to destroy the Europeans? I want you to think about something for a minute. I want you to imagine just a scene in your mind, sitting on a beach in America in the 1600s is a family, a husband, a wife, several children, maybe a whole community. And they see coming in the water ships coming towards their land. And these men aboard are armed. If you were a Native American man during that time, or if you're a woman, maybe you're a Native American mother and you're holding your child, do you feel fear? Do you think this is beneficial to you? Let me ask you the question that those precious babies and families on the shore, were they the least of these? Or were the men on the ships coming to America with weapons, were they the least of these that Jesus talked about? In this situation, who was the least of these? Which side do you think was actually operating in self-defense? The natives who had inhabited the land for millennia? Or the European settlers who had come in search of a better life, to pursue their own happiness, and to search for gold? Who's operating in self-defense here?